Hello everyone, it is your host, Stacey Wakali. Welcome to yet another episode of The Built List, TBL, where we explore Kenyan design habits without too much fluff. Today, we are driving into something that gets mentioned a lot but rarely respected: Kikuyu Gothic architecture. And no, this episode is not about bashing or making fun of it. I am here to talk about why Kikuyu Gothic is actually pivotal in our return to authenticity and vernacular design. Let's start with the basics. For anyone unfamiliar with the term, Kikuyu Gothic is a label Kenyans coined to describe that very specific mix of building styles, color palettes, and stylistic choices heavily associated with Kikuyu landlords. It covers everything from tiling to paint selection to space planning, choices that are often amusing but sometimes questionable, but always distinctive. You know the tiles, yeah? The heavy patterned, busy ones, the color combos, chocolate brown paired with lollipop green or that unforgettable goat bubblegum pink. And then there are the spatial decisions. The toilet that somehow ends up on the balcony, or the shower stall so small that you're basically straddling the toilet. They're funny, yes, but they're also a direct response to tight spaces, limited budgets, and an obsession with squeezing maximum utility from a minimum square footage. And honestly, there is something beautiful in that. There's beauty in someone confidently choosing an aggressively patterned tile and boldly laying it throughout the entire house. There is beauty in the refusal to be told that a space is too small for that and making that space work. There's originality in it, a refusal to conform, a commitment to eccentricity as a feature, not a flaw. And here's where I want to challenge something. Why do we as Kenyans dismiss this busy tiles aesthetic as tacky? Yet when you travel to Spain or Mexico, you gush over the exact same busy tiles and bright colors. Why is African maximalism seen as excess, but European maximalism seen as heritage? This to me is a part of the colonial hangover, the instinct to reject what is originally African. So why shouldn't Kikuyu Gothic be studied the way we study the Renaissance architecture or Brutalism or Bauhaus? A prophet truly isn't celebrated in their hometown. Kikuyu Gothic gets a bad rap instead of being improved like we did with the Swahili coast smooth lime cement finishes that you see in hotels in Lamu and more famously at Swahili Beach Hotel in Ukunda. We marvel at how the Maasai control temperatures in Amanyata without mechanical systems, yet when we build for ourselves, we start to look for HVAC systems. We point to Luo homestead planning as an example of social logic shaping physical space, yet when building, we want to build the highest wall and live as far away from your neighbors as possible. So why not examine this style with some seriousness? Because here's the thing: Kikuyu Gothic, beneath its jokes and memes, carries lessons in bravery, resourcefulness, and radical authenticity. It refuses to believe anything is impossible. It's a design for survival wrapped in personality. So, how do we translate the fundamentals of Kikuyu Gothic into contemporary design? Number one, embracing maximalism without an apology. Not the chaotic version, but a thought out interpretation of bold patterns, layered textures, and color confidence. We can curate it, refine it, but still honor the fearlessness. Number two, reclaiming African color theory. Kenyans love bright colors, always have. From Kitenge to traditional homestead, Kikuyu Gothic proves that this instinct hasn't gone anywhere. We can reinterpret this palette in modern pigment tones, sustainable finishes, and high quality materials. Number three, optimizing small spaces with intention. If there's one thing Kikuyu Gothic masters, it is squeezing value out of cramped spaces. Architects and designers can take that same spirit and apply smart, compact design, transformable furniture, multifunctional room, micro living situations suited to urban realities. Number four, resourcefulness as aesthetic. Many Kikuyu Gothic decisions come from constraint, not abundance, but constraint forces creativity. This can inspire a new Kenyan minimal budget, high impact design language, one that doesn't pretend to be Scandinavian to feel legitimate. We can learn to use materials that are local, affordable, and still beautiful, which in turn will boost our manufacturing industry. Number 5, documenting and preserving the style. Before mocking it out of existence, we should archive it, photograph it, write about it, teach it, treat it as an evolving cultural artifact instead of a meme. So, where does this leave us? If we strip away the jokes, Kikuyu Gothic stands out as one of the most honest expressions of Kenyan urban identity. It is raw, it is fearless, it is experimental, and whether or not you personally like it, it reflects who we are, what we value, and how we build under pressure. Maybe the real opportunity isn't to reject it, but to reinterpret it, to take its boldness, its color, its resourcefulness, and refine those instincts into a design language that feels proudly Kenyan. Because if there's anything Kikuyu Gothic teaches us, it's that design doesn't need to be perfect to be meaningful. It just has to be brave. That's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Share your photos of Kikuyu Gothic architecture in the comments or DMs. Share photos of your spaces that embody Kikuyu Gothic, and we shall try to reinterpret your spaces to suit you better. Also, share our podcast with your friends and family and keep the discussion going. Until next time, be bold.